Long ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there was a disturbance in the Force when millions of streamers added an amazing hologram effect to their streams. Hi, I'm Finite Singularity, and today we're going to build a realistic hologram effect in OBS for your live stream. In this tutorial, we'll build the hologram effect, add a dynamic effect to our voice, and finally apply some fun masking to reveal and hide the hologram. To do so, we'll need several free plugins: Move, Source Clone, Advanced Masks, Noise, Stroke Low Shadow, and Retro Effects. There will be links to everything you need to download in the description below. As you might imagine, the setup for this effect is quite complex, and I'll be listing off many source and filter parameters. To help you follow along, I'll put all of these parameters on the screen so that you can pause the video when building your own. Additionally, at the end of the video, I'll list each source and what their filter order should be. Now, let's start with a simple OBS scene setup. Here I've created a utility scene that holds my raw camera input. We'll go ahead and create a new face cam scene, which when completed, can be placed anywhere in our scene collection and will hold both our normal camera and our hologram effect. Let's start by adding 3 sources: a background image and 2 source clones of our face cam. One clone we'll call normal and the other hologram. In this tutorial, I'm using a keyed face cam, which you can do with either the NVIDIA background removal plugin or with a green screen. But you can also apply this effect to any source, including a non-keyed face cam. However, in these cases, it will be the entire source that turns into a hologram, not just the streamer. Toggle off the normal camera source, then open the hologram source filters. Here's where we will build the effect. If you look at the holograms in Star Wars, you'll notice that they often have a bloom around both the hologram and around the bright spots within the hologram. So let's set up a bloom filter by adding a retro effects filter, selecting bloom, and we'll set the intensity to 55, size to 14, and threshold to around 75%. Leave the threshold type as luminance. Next, we're going to downscale, then upscale our source to give it a lower resolution, almost gritty feel. Add a scaling/aspect ratio filter and call it downscale. Set the resolution to 640 by 360. Now duplicate this filter and call the new one upscale and set its resolution to the source's original size, in my case 1920 by 1080. You'll notice your source looks slightly pixelated, but this is going to make a huge difference when we add filters after downscaling. Now let's get that classic translucent blue tint to the effect. Add a color correction filter and start by setting the opacity to 0.8. Click on the Select Color for the color multiply field, and in the HTML color code, enter 86B4FF, then click OK. Drop the saturation value to -0.5 to get a more washed out look, and then adjust the gamma, contrast, and brightness to whatever looks good. In my case, I liked a gamma of 0.25, a contrast of 0.5, and left the brightness at 0. Make sure to move the color correction filter after the upscale filter in your filter chain. It's already starting to look like a hologram, but let's give it those analog retro vibes. Add another retro effects filter and call it scanlines. For the filter, select scanlines, leave the profile at sine wave, set your period to 4 pixels, speed to 12, and intensity to 35. Now drag the scanlines filter up between your downscale and upscale. Next, add another retro effects filter and call it NTSC. Drag this new filter just under your scanlines filter, and in the dialog, select NTSC for the filter. Set the tuning offset to 1, then under Luma settings, noise to 4.9, band size to 10 pixels, band strength to 70%, and band count to 1. Now, minimize all of the sliders under chroma settings, size of 0, steps of 1, and strength of 0. Leave your brightness and saturation at 100%. This is starting to look incredible, but we can take it even further. We will add some random distortion to the signal. Add one more retro effects filter and call it distortion. Drag it between your upscale filter and color correction. Set your filter type to analog glitch and leave everything default, except the max displacement, which we'll set to 70 pixels. Feel free to play around with the other settings, but I found that just changing max displacement gave me the look I was going for. One thing you'll notice in the movies is that the hologram fades near the bottom. We can match this by using a gradient mask. To do so, add an advanced masks filter and call it gradient. Move it between your distortion and color correction filters. For mask type, select gradient. Set the rotation to -90 degrees and then adjust the width and position so that it fades out the bottom of your source. I found that a width of 200 pixels and position of 550 pixels worked great for me, but it will depend on your face cam. You can use the debug lines checkbox to see where the mask is fading, but make sure to turn it off once you've got everything in place. And now we're to the final filter to finish the effect, the glow around the hologram. Add a glow filter and drag it between your distortion and gradient filters. Make sure the position is outer glow, padding is none, and set the blur type to dual Kawase. Set your mask threshold to around 5%, the size to 33 pixels, and the intensity to 65%. Leave the fill type as color and the color as white. You should now have an amazing looking hologram effect, but if we just turned the effect off and on, it would definitely ruin the immersion. So let's build a transition that'll amaze your viewers. We'll start by making a utility scene that will hold our mask. To this new scene, add a noise source and call it hologram mask. In the properties, change the noise type to open simplex, then scroll down a bit and change both the base pixel width and base pixel height to 96 pixels. Finally, scroll all the way to the bottom and set the speed to 20. Toggle off the noise source to hide it and add a color source. Call the color source hologram composite mask. You can leave all of the settings as default. Open the filters dialog for this source and add a new advanced masks filter and simply call it mask. Change the mask type to source and select the noise source we just created. Under channel parameters, you want to filter on luminosity and set the mask multiplier to 0.9. Finally, under compression, set the compression type to threshold. Now, if you drag the threshold value, you'll see the source organically appear and disappear. Next, let's animate this change. Create a new move value filter and call it mask on. For the filter, select the mask filter you just created. Leave the move value type as single setting and select threshold value for the setting to change. Set the value to 0.0. Next, scroll down to custom duration, make sure it's checked, and enter 1500 for the duration. Right-click the mask on filter and duplicate it, but call the new one mask off. Open the mask off filter and simply change the setting value to 1. Now, if we click the eyeball next to mask on and mask off, we can animate our mask. To wire this up to the hologram effect, go back to your face cam scene and open the filters for your hologram camera source. Add a new advanced masks filter, call it mask, and drag it to the top of your filters list. Select a mask type of source and select the hologram composite mask source we just made. Everything else can stay the same. Depending on the state of your mask, your hologram could be off or on right now. Let's add a trigger filter for the hologram reveal. Close the filter window, then right-click on the face cam scene and select filters. Add a new move action filter. Set your start action to filter enable, the source to your hologram composite mask, filter to mask on, and make sure that you're enabling it. Under duration, select infinite duration. Finally, for your end action, again select filter enable, the hologram composite mask source, but this time enable the mask off filter. Now, toggling this filter off and on should reveal and hide your hologram. The last thing we need to do is the inverse for our original camera. Go ahead and turn on the normal camera source and open its filter dialog. Add another advanced masks filter and call it mask. Just like the hologram camera, select the source mask type and the hologram composite mask. But this time, scroll down to channel parameters and check invert mask. Now, if we go back to our face cam scene and toggle the hologram filter, we should have a very nice transition between the two. Help me, YouTube. You're my only hope. To like, comment, and subscribe. The missing piece is an audio effect which really sells the hologram transmission. Luckily, this is quite easy to accomplish. First, right-click your mic input source and select Filters. Next, add a 3-band equalizer filter. Set the high to 20 decibels and the mid and low to -20 decibels. This will give a low-fidelity AM radio sounding voice. Close the filter window and go back to our masks utility scene. Open the filters for our hologram composite mask source and add a new move action filter. Call it hologram voice on. Leave the start action as none, set the custom duration to 750 milliseconds, and the end action to filter enable. The source is our mic, and we want to enable the 3-band equalizer we just created. Next, duplicate this filter, but call the new one hologram voice off, and this time disable the 3-band equalizer. Now click the mask on filter, scroll down, and set the simultaneous move to hologram voice on. Do the same for the mask off filter, but set the simultaneous move to hologram voice off. Phew, that was a lot. To ensure everything is in order, here are the filter chains for each of the sources we created. Feel free to pause to read better. Here's the chain for the Facecam hologram source, Facecam normal, Facecam scene, hologram composite mask, and finally, the microphone. And with all that, we have a single filter on our Facecam scene that, when toggled, takes us into the world of Star Wars. Being a single filter, it can easily be added to whatever stream control you use, from Touch Portal to hotkeys to a Stream Deck. I hope you learned something with this tutorial, and I'd love to hear what you do with it. Please feel free to let me know in the comments, and also let me know if there are any other special effect tutorials you would like to see. I'll see you in the next one.